What's up, people? It's another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best new metal quasi-adjacent podcast from two dudes who are really there. I'm one half of your hosting duo, Jay Horsecow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM Tim Anderson Jr. Tim, how's it going?
Great. Awesome.
Fantastic. We are doing awesome. So, what are we talking about this week, fellow folks, kids, girls, guys, gals, whatever? This week, Tim posed an interesting challenge. Tim said, "I want to come up with a list, 10 minimum. You can go over of let's talk about the artists that we have discovered as part of this show." So, Tim, how many years in are we? Three, four?
So I'm pretty sure we started right after COVID, I think.
I think it was either April or well, I think it was in COVID. It was April or May of 2020, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Pretty sure it was April of 2020 and it's now September of 24. Holy shit. So
Geez, so I mean, you're looking at what we've easily done. I mean, and we do weekly, so we're at 200 episodes, give or take, something like that, 250 maybe.
we're at about 220. Yeah.
Right, so we've covered a lot of ground. So again, Tim's question was, what are some of the artists that you have found as part of this show that you might not have found otherwise? I've got a list, but I've also got Tim albums that I have found because of this album, because of the show that I
Yeah.
might not have ever dug into. So that was another interesting half of my list where I was like, huh, didn't
I'm
think
gonna
about that.
guess your first album is Violence by Nothing Face.
Yes,
Yep, I knew it.
yes, yep. Because
Amazing, right?
I never listened to that. I'll ruin it. The big three for me. I only wrote three. Violence, Mechanical Animals.
Mm,
I had never listened to that before, so that was
crazy.
a really wild listen. And Dark Horse by Crazy Town, the second album.
Yep, that's for me
Shout out to
too.
Jordan. I never listened to that. Now I'm like, this is really good. Violence, I go back and listen to all the time. I'm really, really kind of surprised. But I also have a list of bands and albums. Don't think because I didn't name your band, folks, that it doesn't mean you're on a list. So,
Oh yeah,
Tim,
yeah, yeah. And
you
I
want to
just want to tell you this before you start that. I listen to Dark Horse once a week. I fucking love that record.
go?
It's great.
It is so well put together, and shout out to Shifty, shout out to those guys. It just wasn't. It wasn't the right time for that album.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right time, but it was expertly put together. And we're not going to talk about the new Linkin Park disaster. Fuck that.
Ugh.
All right,
Ugh.
Tim. What's your first? Let's go with your first. I've got 11.
I have 16, but we gotta shout out the OGs because the OGs of this podcast for us is definitely Zone Zero.
Yes, yes.
I
They're on my
mean,
list. Yep.
I don't care what anyone says. They were the first band where I was like, new metal is fucking back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I fucking just remember the one day it just crept across one of my listening platforms, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Zone Zero. What is it? A VOD rip?" Put it on. I was like, "Damn, this is really fucking good." Oh, Ohio. Oh, hit them up. They answered right away. You know, and
Yep.
that's just call it a day right there. We've met Jordan. We've seen him live. I mean, great dude. Great dudes. They're all cool. They're all cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're definitely the OG band for us, in my opinion. I think.
Oh,
Um,
100%. And I would say the OG fan is Adam Easterling, right?
yeah,
Because we reached out to
absolutely.
Adam and he came on and we were, going to talk Orthodox stuff. And now he goes in on Serge Tanky and System of a Down. And,
Yeah,
he was the original guy who was like, yo, I want to talk about this stuff with you guys because nobody else ever wants to talk about it. So shout out to him as well. Yeah, they're definitely the OGs.
yeah. Adam is one of the nicest dudes of all time, and
Dude,
I don't
all the
even
guys in that
really,
band, all the guys in that band are
yeah,
all so nice. It's kind of funny.
I don't even really remember how he came about on Ill Street, but I maybe someone pointed me in his direction. But I remember talking to him in like 20 minutes into the conversation. I'm like, dude, this dude rules. Like he's so fucking fun to talk to.
Yeah.
And then when he told me you like new metal, I was like, oh, I was like, do you? And then, we got him on here and we've been friends ever since. Great fucking dude.
Yeah.
Fucking love Adam. It's cool. Like he'll just text me once out of the blue and like, yo, listen to this. And I'm like, cool, thanks. But like, dude, super fucking cool, dude. I love Orthodox. That new record I know is going to be a monster.
Yeah, I think this is going to catapult them into that conversation of one of the best modern metalcore bands.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they just put a link up on their story for Instagram. Apparently, Mike is playing drums in this hardcore band now. They're called Out in Front.
I saw that. Yeah.
Dude, that shit is really good, man.
I haven't, I'm still catching up from all, we went from having nothing come out every week in August to the first week in September, I got fucking hammered on.
Yeah.
So now I'm still trying to dig myself out on that on my list.
Yeah. What's his name from Zone Zero plays bass? Uh, Fuck, why am I always forgetting his name? But yeah, he plays bass, and I don't know who else plays in the band, but I know Mike plays drums because you could just tell it's him drumming on it. He uses that ride cymbal like a fucking master. You know it's him. But I'm really impressed with that EP, man. Like I'm really like much hardcore these days, but that record is in my top EPs right now. It's that good.
Yeah, it's
I
good
think
stuff.
you're gonna love it, dude. But yeah,
Okay.
Zone Zero, them dudes, Orthodox definitely. I mean, I knew of Orthodox before that, but I just didn't at the time. I knew them, but I was just like, okay. And then you know what I think about that? I think when they were on, what was the label they were on? Not
Uh,
Upstate.
Unbeaten.
They were on Unbeaten. So I think Buddy from Unbeaten got hooked me up with him with Adam, and then we just talked about all that stuff. And 5 years later, we
Yeah,
talk all
here
the
we
time.
are.
But
Here we are.
yeah, I think that's his name, Buddy. Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
is. He
yeah,
was in
yeah,
Stigmata, all that shit. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, another cool dude. But
All right, Tim, let's get into the list here.
yeah, good.
So, what is your first? Let's go with your first one.
Um, I think after that we started talking to Hunter from Mood Ring, and they are one of my favorite bands to this day.
Yeah, they're on my
I
list.
He keeps teasing that new record, man, and dude, it sucks, dude. I really hate that dude's going through what he is, and it's none of my business. And I'm not one of them dudes that'll message and be like, "Hey, man, prayers up," because I don't think that does anything. And
Hmm.
I'm also the type of dude where like I'm not we're acquaintances, us and Hunter.
Yeah, we're
Like
not close. Yeah,
we're not close. We're not homies, whatever. He's a cool dude, but I'm not one of them dudes that's gonna reach out, and he's probably heard it from a million fucking people. He doesn't need to hear it from a million and one.
right.
Hope he's well, can't wait for that new record. And if he's
Hey,
up to it when it comes out, we'll fucking have him on in
he
a
put
second.
he put something out in one of his stories or his reels or whatever. He was like, "Yo, it's so hard to sequence an album," and I'm thinking to myself, dude, you're going to put out an album of 11 tracks. It's going to be one segue and 10 bangers. How hard is it to sequence 10 bangers? Just stack them
Right.
up and let them come out the door. But yeah, he's another one. We reached out blind. He hopped on one night, and I think Tim and I joked with him where I don't think he knew what to expect with us. So maybe he
Yeah.
figured we were going to be two kind of like, really young
Cornballs.
kids, and
Yeah.
we signed on and we started talking suffocation. And I think he was like, oh, these guys are no joke. But yeah, shout out to Hunter and everything he touches. That guy, you want to talk about a guy like a Midas touch. Um, he's just got an amazing amount of skill, and I can't wait for that new album. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, man, it really pains me to see this shit. I don't know what he's going through, but it pains me to see that shit, man, because I hate when talent like that is just gets. I mean, that's fucked up, man. It's always the good guys that just that
Yeah,
shit happens to. I hate
yeah.
that shit, man.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so that took one. Take that off my list. The next one I'm going to go with is from my half of newer bands, I got to give a shout out to Hunter and Austin and the boys, the Austins and everybody in Drowner. Right? I mean, that
absolutely,
EP
dude.
came out. I forget how we found it. Tim passed it to me. We had him on the show. Then they did the remix. Then Tim and I have they've been slow leaking us some of their new stuff, which sounds unbelievable. Which by the way, Tim, we have to do that recording.
Oh
I
shit, yeah,
I huge fan. Can't wait to hear the new album. I think everybody's going to be blown away. But
yeah,
yeah, this is one of those bands where I am really stoked that I found them from the show.
yeah. Just think, dudes from Portland could be that cool and nice because Portland sucks.
I've had some interesting experiences in Portland. We will leave it at that. All right, Tim,
Yeah,
what's your next
dude.
pick?
But I mean, back to Drowner real quick. One of my favorite bands right now. Again, the nicest fucking dudes ever. I mean, they're great to talk to. I hope they blow up, man, because they fucking deserve it.
Yeah,
Seriously,
they
dude.
definitely do.
Next, I mean, we just had him on Gary from Memorage and all that stuff. One of the nicest dudes too. We
Uh,
could sit here and
yeah,
talk to that dude for 4 hours and it'd be great. I
I
mean,
actually just have Gary's collection of Motley music because he has it's not just Memorage, it's Gone Mage, it's Carinier, it's all the 8,000 things he does, right? Known Demise. I I love whenever Gary puts something on, I follow all of his stuff on Bandcamp because I get the notifications. He's always doing something different. He's always doing something different, which is really kind of cool because
yeah.
you never know what you're going to get when you open it up. Literally, it's like, oh, what's this going to sound like? And then 9 times out of 10, you're surprised.
Yeah, I think me and you have been blessed with finding like real. I mean, we didn't find them, but we've come across some really fucking talented people, man. And it's just like that's what I love about doing this, man. It's just you never know what's next around the corner, like who's gonna come out of nowhere and be just, dude. That dude is talented. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
there's so many people we've met and talked to on here. It's just it's a blessing, dude. Seriously.
I'm gonna. So I just did Drowner. What's your next one, Tim?
Um, dude, Alex from Ashes Like Rain, another sickly
Mm-hmm.
fucking talented
Mm-hmm.
dude. I mean, just one of the night, another fucking nice dude, man. Like,
Yeah,
all
that
it's the crazy thing. All these dudes are nice. They're fucking they're not flaky. You know what I mean? It's like you don't find that shit a lot anymore.
no, no. Nine times out of ten, they're in the Zoom waiting for us to hit record. Like they're waiting for us to show up, which is kind of wild. But yeah, Alex
Yeah.
was a. I mean, we had him on to talk Ashes Like Rain. We did the results may vary deep dive with him, right? Like, I nice. We have been blessed, Tim, in the sense of we've come across a lot of
Yeah.
really great
Definitely,
people.
dude.
Um, so I'm going to talk about a great guy who is part of an old band that I discovered because of the show, but then his new stuff, Cuke.
Oh yeah.
So Down the
Absolutely.
Sun, I knew who it was. I saw the video on MTV. It never really dug into the album. I dug into the album and it was, I mean, it's up there with American Head Charge and Slipknot as that third wave, super abrasive, aggressive new metal. But I love that album. We have Cuke on, and then he comes back on with his new band Gurney, which is just this awesome sludgy doom. Like
It's heavy.
it's molasses in December. Like it's
Yeah,
unwieldy,
dude.
you know?
Fucking
And
slap the shit out of someone heavy.
so heavy it'll slap your own mother. But that like talking to him, he was so awesome, and I got to experience an old band that I knew of but never really dug
Yep.
into, and his new stuff I really dig it. I'm waiting for them to play a Philly show because I will go. I mean, he can have it in the worst part of like the demilitarized zone, West Philly. I'll still go because I really want to hang out with him because cool
Yeah,
stuff and he makes cool music.
yeah, super fun to talk to, super nice dude. Always bullshit with him about football. I love that shit, man.
Yeah.
It's like it's funny because he's a a Chiefs fan, and it's just like right now that's kind of like the nemesis right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he you took that right off my list. He was next for me, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of going in order of like how I don't know how I just remembered like the order of people we just talked to, and it's just super cool, man. Um, is it you now?
That was me. Now you.
Yeah, I mean, we have to shout out Zeke from 13, another
Yep. Yep.
workhorse, man. I mean, I know he has another record coming out soon, and another sickly fucking talented dude, just
Yes.
crazy talent, man. And he doesn't do different genres; he just sticks with the 13. But them records, man, they're fucking
And
flawless, dude.
and they're all different, right? It's always 13, but he's always doing something different in the album. Like that, I think it was not this newest one, it's the one before. It got
Yeah.
really heavy, not unexpectedly so. So yeah, again, another bright guy with some bright ideas, and I look forward to see what he keeps doing when he finally hits album 13. Right?
Well, I think he said that this new record's all 8 string, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, geez, it's gonna be like the Acacia Strain.
Yeah, Acacia
It's
Strain
all
new metal. Yeah, that's fucking great,
Jesus.
dude.
So this is somebody we haven't had on, although I haven't stopped trying. Something that I found from this show that I really dug into is the catalog of the vocalist Pete Murray from
Hmm.
Ultraspank, right? So always loved Ultraspank, never really checked out Low Pro. On the back of this show, I checked out Low Pro, really liked it, really liked it. And the stuff he's doing in Life on Planet Nine is unbelievable.
That
Like
record's great, man.
unbelievable. I remember that we did an episode one night where I was hammered by the end of this thing, and we put that on, and it was just an awesome EP. But yeah, that's another guy where I remember getting the first Ultra Spank album and loving it. The second one, my tastes were changing. It never really landed for me. And then I knew he was in Low Pro. I always lumped Low Pro in with like Low Pro, Damage Plan, Devil Driver, all those post new metal bands of guys trying to do something different. Sadly, I'm going to say Blood Simple's kind of in the same vein. But then we found Life on Planet Nine, and I went back and I listened to Low Pro. And I'm like, I really fucking like this guy's voice. We got to find a way to get him on the show. Like another
Yeah,
band
dude.
that was around when I was back then, but now I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. That EP, I remember you put that on for me, and I was like, "Yo, this is fucking good, dude." Like his
Yeah,
voice is great, and that the musicianship in that is fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
I listen to that all the time, man. That's a fantastic fucking record, dude.
And the project he did with what's his name from Snot Tumor.
Oh
White
yeah,
was
yeah,
it
yeah.
White Owl Noise, something like that. I always forget
Yeah,
the
something
name.
weird like that.
But another great EP, right? Like, yeah, yeah, he was another good guy we had on Tumor. He was a lot of fun to talk to. He was so cool.
Yeah, definitely, man. Got to shout out to the boys from Steppe. I mean, super
Mm-hmm.
super
Mm-hmm.
fun dude to talk to as well. That new stuff is fucking great, dude.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Another band that I didn't even know who they were until I saw the r/new metal talking about them nonstop. And we had Blake on, and he was the coolest dude to talk to. He was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And yeah, yeah, another band. I was like, that's a fucking good album. How did I miss it? I don't know how I missed it, but I did.
And the great one of the best things about talking to them dudes was when when we had on the guys from Moreau, and I was like, dude, like it's crazy that a band I've always tried to get on Ill Street, we just somehow find them from Steppe, and it's like I
Yeah,
had no clue you guys knew each other.
yeah,
If you know
right.
what I
It's been a
mean?
while. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what's his name just hit us up, the drummer, and he was like, oh, my dad wants to come on. His dad is the fucking one of
John
the guys
Karami. Yeah,
that, yeah, he played in Motley Crue. I mean, we're gonna talk to him soon. Like that's fucking crazy, dude.
yeah. That is nuts. That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, so shout out to them guys, and I that new stuff they sent us is really good. I not saying the record before wasn't good because it's fucking fantastic as well, but like that new stuff is on another level, dude.
Yeah, it's. I was really impressed. I was really impressed
Yeah,
listening to that
may
stuff.
some bands just need a break and the juices flow and they come out and put out really good stuff. So super excited for that stuff. Like I think that comes out Friday actually. I mean
Well,
we I mean we've heard it obviously, but
well, we just had that conversation, but sometimes you got to walk away from it to come back to it with a fresh set of eyes.
yeah.
Sometimes it just takes a bit. Speaking of that, another band that we've had on the show, I want to give a shout out to James and the guys in Crossbreed.
Oh yeah.
When that album came out, I remember going, these are the guys with the glow in the dark tattoos and
Yeah.
jumpsuits, and it's just like everything else. But when I went back and listened, I really the two albums that he did in the EP were fucking great.
They are
Were
good, man.
great. And it was one of those kicking yourself like, hey, how did I miss this back then? Because that was awesome. Like
I'm actually I'm actually a fan of the EP a lot.
yes. Is that the one that came out, the bookend EP, right? Was the album EP album?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, really good. Really industrial, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Synthetic Division. That's a great record, but like, yeah, that EP is great, man.
Yeah. It's good
Them
stuff.
dudes were. I was not expecting them dudes when they came on that to just be that cool.
Yeah, they were having a good time too, which is, I mean, whenever we have a guest that's enjoying themselves as much as we are, it makes life so much easier.
Absolutely, dude.
Who else you got, Tim?
Purity. I That EP is great. Another
Yeah, we
two
haven't
fun dudes to talk
we
to.
haven't heard from them in a while. We should probably reach out and see what's going on.
I talk to what's his name on Twitter sometimes. He puts up some stuff just to rile people up, I think, and
Who,
it
Kane or
works.
AJ?
AJ does.
Yeah.
He just puts up stuff to piss people off. I think that's what he's going for, but I love that shit, man.
You're right,
He's
right.
basically just talking shit on the whole hardcore scene the one day, and I was like, yeah, you're 100% correct.
That is that's fucking great. All right, what do I got? Oh, so another newer band that we found because of the show, and we're working on getting them on again. Harvey from Graphic Nature.
Yeah,
I
my album of the year right now.
I was messaging with them today, throwing some dates out there, trying to line it up. You know, time zones are just it's terrible. But yeah, man, I that last album was great. This new album is unbelievable,
Yeah,
unbelievable, and it's definitely it's right now. It's in my album of the year slot. I have yet to hear anything that's going to dethrone it. I know they won an award for like best breakout artist or something. I just
good.
saw
They
they
deserve it.
and they have two headlining shows coming up, which is really cool. Yeah, shout out to Harvey and the guys in Graphic Nature from over in the UK. Check that album out. Tim and I can't stop talking about it. It's unbelievable.
They deserve every
Unbelievable.
accolade they're getting. That record is absolutely incredible.
Heavy Music Awards 2024, best breakout, best
Yeah,
new breakout artist,
they just.
best breakthrough album.
Oh, yeah, they deserve it, dude. That record is perfect. It sounds perfect. It's the aesthetics of that band are great. Yeah, the vocals on that are great.
Yeah,
The
I'm
I love
really
the lyrics. It's good.
really hoping they find a way to do some sort of US run even if it's small East Coast stuff, I will definitely find a way to get out there.
Yeah, I mean it's I just can't believe how powerful that record is. For
It
me, man,
really
it's just
is.
like it's
It
so
really is
good.
great. It's so great.
It's
What else you got, Tim?
every time I listen to it, I'm just like, oh, how is this? It just gets better every time I
Yeah.
listen to it.
Yep.
Um, I have to shout out Loser. That band is just
Yep.
I he keeps teasing stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, dude, just drop it, drop this fucking stuff,
When we
because
drive out to his house, I'm like, yo, just give me the zip file.
yeah, like another band that is just I has totally taken over on me for one of my favorite bands, and I know that new stuff's gonna be great. Everything they've done, them singles are just great. I love that fucking band. The dude's like he's a great vocalist, man. Like you can feel that shit. I love when you can when a singer comes on and it's just he doesn't sound like anyone. He has his own vibe, and I love that shit because a lot of these dudes, especially deathcore, it's the same shit over and
Yeah,
over
I mean,
and over.
I I asked Adam Easterling that. I said, Adam, these deathcore bands, it's really kind of incestuous how they just swap singers back and forth. And he looked at me and said something like, "Dude, how hard is it to do you think to do pig squeals?" And I was like, I never thought about it that way, but he's not wrong.
I mean, I couldn't do it, but
No, no. I mean, I try. Kimball, my wife will tell you, I try in the shower every day. I can't do it yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. My next pick, band we haven't had on yet, but I think I'm just gonna reach out and try and find them. Shout out to Sean from the New Metal Reddit board as he's the mod there. He introduced us to the band Money. And
oh
I
yeah,
love every single thing that band has done. They just did another single. It's a monster. It's very much in that hum failure vein, nothing. I love it. I love it, and I got to reach out to them like, yo, can you guys come on the show because I really want to talk to you about this. I think it's fantastic. But another band that, how the hell would I have found that band if it wasn't for this show?
yeah. Another band in that vein, Bleed. That EP
Yep,
that EP is so good.
yep.
I keep begging for fucking new stuff. It has to come. I don't know what other bands they're in, but I'm sure they are in other bands. They're all in other bands.
Everybody
But
is. Yep.
that Bleed stuff, that Money stuff's incredible. That single you sent me, I love it. What the hell was it called again?
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, but that single's great. And yeah, and if it wasn't for Sean, we would have no clue about that.
Yep, yep.
Because if I seen that band name come through, I'd probably be like, the fuck is this?
Right. This
You
is
know what I
gonna
mean?
be
There's
some like
this
cheesy hip hop like SoundCloud stuff, and then you listen, it's like,
yeah,
yo, yeah, this is my wheelhouse. Yep.
yeah. One I don't want to forget, Flashback out of Canada. Dude, that
Oh
record
yeah.
is another great record,
That's
man.
another one. That album, that last album's a sleeper because
Oh
I
yeah.
will listen to it and I'll go, holy shit, I'm gonna put them on the same tier to me in my Jay's mind as Zayo, where I listen to it and I go, this is fucking great. Why don't I listen to this more? And then I forget about it.
Yep.
And then somehow I remember and I put it back on and I go, holy shit, this is really good. Why don't I listen to this more? Yeah, but yeah, that flashback album is great. Great.
I do that shit all the time, man.
Uh
Here I got another one for you right
Go
here.
on.
Throne.
Yes.
Yo, how good is that record?
That's my hardcore album of the year right
Is it?
now. The only one, I think the only one that comes close to it is maybe, I don't know, maybe the Missing Link album. Maybe.
So you consider that Throne a hardcore record?
Well, I mean, what else do you call it? It's really metalcore, I guess.
To
There's
me,
enough.
it's the same vein as Graphic Nature, just not as electronic.
Yes, yes, yes. What a surprise. They're both from the UK.
Yeah, right.
Or Europe, I should say. But yeah, that Throne album is holy shit, man. That thing is nuts. That thing
It's
is
thick.
nuts. And the second half, you're like, okay, so there's 12 songs, there's a segue, which means it's 11 songs. I've heard five of them. There's no way the other five are any good. They're probably like a toss off. No, no, no. I'm terribly, terribly wrong there. Just as good as the first five they released the singles. Yeah, that album is unbelievable.
What what
Unbelievable.
what do chicks say about dudes that they like? So what do they call it now? The the energy. What the fuck is that thing?
Riz?
No, no, no. It's like oh the girls always say like oh he's got big dick energy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
That record is like the big dick energy of just fucking metalcore. That record is so fucking heavy.
Yes.
It just
Big, here you go, Tim.
beats the shit out of you.
Big mosh energy. That's what they
There
had.
you go.
Big
Yeah.
mosh energy. We got to make t-shirts. Yes. Yes. And you know what? When they played live, I saw them open for, was it Body Snatcher and Spite? They were really good. And I think they're coming back over to support somebody else. I, that's fucking awesome. Like they sound
Yeah.
that good. But yeah, another amazing band. Here we go. This is a band that's an older band, but they're still putting out newer stuff. Andrew from Project 86.
Oh yeah.
I had heard of the band. I had never heard the band. That last album, Omni, was amazing. He was cool to
Amazing,
have
man.
on and talk to. I'm waiting for the next one, right? Like, really, another band I would have just seen it and just, oh, I vaguely remember them from back in the day. And then I just would have been about my business and never thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. That record blew my fucking brains out. I was like, dude, this is like
Good.
it sounded like Will Haven, some Deftonesy vibes, and just some heavy like Haste the Day vibes in there. I was like, yo, this record's great, man.
Yep. And then there's the sci-fi angle with a little bit of electronics. There's some
Yeah.
industrial touches to it. Yeah, it's really, really good. Another one I went back when I was making my list, I listened to again and I'm like, yeah, we've definitely had some gems come across this show.
Yeah. I mean, I've some records I found that I wouldn't know about. That blind spot, them blind spot records are so goddamn good.
Uh-huh.
I
Yep.
absolutely love everything about them records. He has another band. They have another band. It's something. It begins with a B. It has the two T's on it. I just forget what it's called. Another. It might even be better than the Blind Spot record. Honestly, I have to pull it up for you while
Um,
we're talking.
so while you're thinking about that, I'm going to go back to we got to give credit where credit is due. We had Holiday Kirk on a long time ago, and he brought in a whole list of international stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we talked about H Block, and we talked about Earth Toad 9 and some of that stuff. And it was, I mean, his list was, I mean, he brought in Playmo and a whole bunch of other shit, which was kind of wild. Yeah, he sent us down some rabbit holes with Emil Bowles and some stuff. He sent us down some interesting rabbit holes. Yeah, that was a kind of fun conversation.
He might have even been the one who taught us about Blind Spot, if I'm remembering.
I think so. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite bands that I found through here. The other band they have is called Blacklist with two T's.
Okay.
That stuff is really good, man. It literally might be better than the other stuff. It's that good. So yeah, so that is one of my favorite records I found through this show. Another one on here. I always talk about this. You're gonna laugh. That Medication EP that you put me onto is
Hmm.
so good. I listen to that constantly. Um, there's some black new metal from Russia. Bands called Cassidy. I don't know how I found them, but that stuff's really good. Tetrarch, they're putting out a new song Friday. Really great band. Cultus Black, another great band I found through here. They're kind of like, they wear like the makeup masky kind of stuff, but it's really heavy stuff, really well put together stuff. So we tried getting him on the times, just didn't work.
Yeah, yeah, we just couldn't make it work. So while we're talking about, you just made me think of talking about Blind Spot. We had Holiday on, and we talked about international new metal, but we also had Orion on and talked about some of the obscure stuff that
Yeah, oh,
he had
yeah.
come across. And there was, I mean, Steppa, that's where Steppa showed. I first heard Steppa, right? He had what was the name's band? Spindicate, which was
Yeah.
really good. And there was, I think Clown was in that, and
Yep.
Celcist, I think, was another one that jumps out at me. Like, yeah, shout out to Orion for again. There's so much obscure stuff. I go on r/new metal sometimes, and I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know where people find some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's because they're the people that are just constantly going through stuff all fucking day. And they just find this obscure shit that you're like, well, what? You know what's a good site for that? Is that Melamo Addictico or something, I think of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Melmo Addicto. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if it's a he or she, so my bad, but that's a really good site. Yeah, I go on there sometimes like late at night when we're done this show and I'm like editing or something. I'll put on some really, really fucking good records and I'm like, oh, and then of course it's not on streaming and I'm like, fuck.
fuck me. So speaking, now that I'm going to go back to our guests that have introduced us to a whole bunch of shit. Shout out to the UK's own Nick Box,
Mm.
right? He came in. We did the episode with him on UK new metal, and you and I had like five bands And he literally sent us, I think it was 40 something bands, and he just kept going and going and going and going. I got to reach out to him and have him on to talk about the workhorse movement. I'll find a scheduled date. But yeah, man, again, a whole nother, another great thing about this show, I think, is we met some really interesting people who have, who are, who have perspectives that we're not even aware of, and they gladly come on and share them with us, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the best part, dude. Like I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I like when you guys just do shows with you two," and it's like, yeah, it's cool, but like me and Jay talk to each other all the time. Like sometimes we just like getting people on and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you also, you have a really good experience. I say 98% of the time we have a good experience. There might be one interview that it's like one or two where we were like at the end, like that sucked.
Yeah, every once in a while you kind of get like a dud where you're like, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, I just did one without Jay because he had to do something that was fucking horrible.
Yeah, it was that was not a good one, man. I went back and
Oh
listened to it. It was not a
God,
good one. Yeah, we're definitely
it was so bad.
we'll have to be really, really, really drunk to release that one. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
we should start a new segment, fucking interviews that suck, and put that one out.
Interviews from hell. We definitely
Yeah,
could. We definitely could.
fucking asshole.
All right, man. What else do we got?
That I mean, there I could keep going and going, but I don't really want to, drag this on forever. But the people we mentioned, they're the ones that really matter, and I think they have kept the show going. And I just really can't wait. I feel like every couple months we find another gem and we get them on, and then we're fucking friends with them, and it's just cool to see, man.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that about this show, and because I never had that feeling before when I did the other one. It's just like, yeah,
Eh,
there's what's his name from what's his name. You're cool.
well, it kind of, I guess, I don't know. I'm speculating, but I guess because I mean, you did that for what? How many years? 6 years, 7 years, something like
Yeah,
that. Was it that
six.
long?
Yeah, yep,
And I mean, at some point, and we've had this discussion. I mean, you guys never had an episode where it wasn't an interview, where it was just you two sitting around bullshit, or you three
yeah,
sitting around bullshit. Like there was always someone there. And you and I think this show, we do a lot more time just hanging out, talking to each other,
yeah,
which adds a little bit of contrast, right? Like I mean, I'm sitting here, I've got a list going off to the side of bands I got to reach out to tomorrow, of things that after this conversation, I'm like, we never had them on. We should really reach out to them. But we take and I do think because we don't get a lot of bands that are on the podcast circuit. We don't get a lot of people on the podcast circuit. Like we proactively reach out to Jordan from the percussionist from Power Man 5000. That dude is
yeah.
he's in Blue Man Group at Cirque du Soleil and he's teaching drums out in Vegas. And I reached out to him and he's like, yeah, okay, we'll talk. Like I think we get a different type of guest because we're a different type of show. And
Yeah.
we're reaching out to be like, yo, let's fucking hang out, man.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I would talk to Jonathan Davis in a fucking second.
Oh, absolutely. I already said if Fred Durst ever comes on the show, we're ending it. That's it. That's the final
Yeah.
episode. We'll do
And
something
that
else.
is 100 per fucking percent true. If we got Fred Durst on here and we did a legit 1 hour interview with him, I would be like, all right, we're good.
We'll rebrand. We'll find something new. We'll do something different. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ever see Fred Durst come along us on a Wednesday, you just know we're done after.
Yeah. We just know that that's the final episode. We're not going to say anything. We're just going to put it out there. Then that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, find us at Breed Nude next.
I've actually got some ideas for different shows that we could do, but whatever. So I guess Tim, to bring it full circle, right? Like, I mean, we found some really cool stuff, and I think for both of us, right? We would for if there's anybody that's still listening, right? That we mentioned you. Thank you for coming on and being part of the show and helping us
Yeah,
have a good
definitely, man.
time, right? And if we didn't mention you, it's not that we don't appreciate what we've forgotten. It's that we've again 200 something episodes. It's almost impossible to remember everybody. But from from the people who've shown up once to your
Oh,
Garys and
John
to your John
Detox.
Detox, right? Who's
Yeah.
shown up a couple of times and helped us have a good chat. He's coming on next week. We're going to talk about some shit.
Yeah.
So
Orion.
yeah, yeah. I mean, shout out to everybody who's helped us have a good time and who's helped us find new bands. I mean, shit, I still got a list here from the last time we talked to Orion of stuff that he rattled off. That I'm like, listen to that. Body Web was him.
Yeah.
He mentioned that as a toss off, and I listened to it and I sent it to you. I'm like, yo, this is good. This is like
Yeah.
surprisingly good. So
I love talking to people like him because he's young and he's got a different perspective on everything. So it's
yes,
always cool to talk to people like that.
yeah, yeah. So I guess we'll close this one out by saying, first of all, if you're still listening and watching, thank you very much. dig back through our back catalog, go back to some of our older episodes. I mean, the early ones are kind of raw, but we've had some good guests. We've had some great conversation, and we really hope that maybe you can, like us, come along and find something new and different that you never even thought was a thing. Uh, yeah, so New Breed underscore podcast on both Twitter and Instagram, newbreedpodcast@gmail.com, 267-297-4627 for all your voicemail response needs. Find us on r/new metal and find us on our Facebook page. So until next week, 12 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday, which you'll get a new episode. Fridays at 12 p.m. We do our reaction vids. Jay and Tim saying peace.